Hello, everyone. Welcome from the editorial team at International Perspectives in Psychology. My name is Ines Meyer, and I'm the journal's editor-in-chief. I'm really excited to be working with International Perspectives in Psychology because it really is a journal that provides a diversity of views in psychology, especially those that are not usually heard in mainstream psychological journals. And we can just thus bring new perspectives on psychology and what matters in psychology.
I'm Joy Calleja. I'm an organization and work psychologist teaching at the Department of Psychology of the Ateneo de Manila University in the Philippines. I'm also with the Ateneo Center for Organization Research and Development, or FORD. Two things that motivated me to be part of IPP, as an associate editor of IPP, are first, I'm part of Project GLOW, or Global Living Organizational Wages, which was founded by Professor Stuart Parr, a former IPP editor. And in that group, we advocate for humanitarian work in the provision of living wage. And just like IPP, we in Project GLOW always align the things that we do with our advocacy for the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Second, as a psychologist in the Philippines working in a Center for Organization Research, we always realize the lack of knowledge on economically challenged developing country contexts, such as the Global South. So I think IPP's commitment to publishing research that examines human behavior and experiences around the globe from a psychological perspective provides that space for contextually nuanced psychological knowledge that hopefully will contribute to uplifting quality of life in areas where it's very much needed. So I think IPP's niche area is its strong emphasis on how research aligns with the UN SDGs. It's the only journal that I know of that explicitly requires authors to include a section on implications for impact that articulates how the findings are important to helping meet one or more of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. So IPP, aside from providing a space for sharing psychological knowledge from an international perspective and advocating for sustainability, also values the complementary role of research, practice, and consultation. I think in a way it contributes in bridging the work that we do in academia, in our professional practice, as well as our consultancy, by publishing research on intervention strategies that seek to improve people's lives. So we have a lot of things in mind as editors in the coming years, right, Ines?
Yes, thank you, Joy. You've captured that so well and comprehensively. What is really exciting about the journal really is also that it is so international. So we are an international editorial team with Joy based in the Philippines and myself at the University of Cape Town in South Africa, also working in organizational psychology. And then, of course, we have Hogrefe, who is the German publisher. So besides the international focus and really the focus on different methodologies, different ways of seeing psychology, and in that way also decolonizing the view of psychology, the mainstream assumptions and ideologies behind psychology. The journal also really stands for, as Joy pointed out, to use psychology for the greater good, for the benefit of society. And the alignment with the UN Sustainable Development Goals really serves for us to ensure that we focus on work that has benefit beyond the individual, beyond an organization, for those of us working in work psychology, but to societies at large. So I am the editor for the next couple of years, and I do have a vision for where to lead the journal. So for once, we've already mentioned the strengths, which is the diversity of perspectives from research to practice, but also from different contexts, and we really value the contextual information. And when we publish articles from different countries, we would like a local person to be a co-author on the paper to ensure that a real understanding of the local environment is included and reflected in the paper. Besides that, I would like the journal in the long run to gain a Clarivat impact factor, because in some parts of the world, some of our colleagues require to publish in journals that have an impact factor. For that, we need to ensure that we have sufficient citations of the articles. So I encourage everyone to have a look at the work published in IPP, and I'm sure you will see important, diverse views which would enrich future research. So you will be able to cite some of our work. And of course, the diversity of views that we have currently, I would like to strengthen and diversify even more, as well as the methodologies presented to really highlight Indigenous voices. Joy?
Yeah, I also hope, Ines, that there will be, more special issues that reflect global humanitarian concerns, like peace, the environment, pandemic-related interventions, that evidently help, in the changes and transitions in communities and in the workplace. Diversity and inclusion, especially in relation to technological advancements. Of course, decent work vis-a-vis precarious work, will always be an important topic, for this journal. So these are issues where psychological knowledge, so as you also emphasized, with an international perspective, can really make a difference. So aside from publishing the manuscripts, we hope to be able to translate this, to more diverse popular platforms for information dissemination that will hopefully reach various audiences. So make a difference through your research. Be a part of a cadre of advocates for the United Nations Sustainable Goals, and publish in IPP.
And to add to that, maybe the question, why should authors choose to publish their work in IPP? To summarize what we have already said, for one, it is about hearing your voice. We want to hear your voice, especially if it is maybe not related to mainstream psychology. The focus on how can your work benefit society and international development agendas through the Sustainable Development Goals is important. Of course, you should publish if you are a practitioner. We want to hear insights from practice. And we also have a variety of formats in which you can publish. Joy already mentioned the special issues. So you could propose a special issue on a particular topic of relevance, or publish an article in a special issue on a particular topic. You could also submit a policy brief, because also unique about IPP is that we are interested in publishing policy briefs. Or, of course, there is empirical and conceptual work that you might want to submit in one of our general issues. Thank you very much. We look forward to receiving your submissions.
Thank you.